5, 4.
Hello, and welcome to Toastmasters in the Community. I'm Fran Okerson, your host. With me today is our District 83 Director, Manny Reyes. And I want to welcome you. This is your second time coming on the show, Manny?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, very good. And you had to bring your wife along because she's the boss of the house, correct?
Absolutely. I cannot live home without her.
That's what I figure. I like it when the men bring their wives. It makes things a lot safer because there's a man over there wearing a white suit and he won't bring his wife. And he does some atrocious things when he gets in front of a microphone. But we'll see what he does today. He promised he'd be good. All right, we're going to get right into our show. Every August for the last several years, I have been conducting a meet and greet with our district offices in District 83 because many years ago, 2008, Toastmasters decided that District 46 had too many clubs, over 250. So they called and they said they were finally going to split the District 46. Did I want to keep the District number 46 number since I was a past district governor there, or did I want the new number? And I said, well, I'd like to have the new number, start out fresh. And so now we're at District 83. So I've been asking these folks to come every year and tell what they do in the district. Not that everybody wants to hear official Toastmasters information, but there are enough Toastmasters on Staten Island who maybe will never get a chance to meet the district director or the division director. Our area director on Staten Island made a visit to Smedley's last week and Richmond County the next night. She'll be here in October to do her visit here with this club. And she has her own club that also meets on Staten Island, so she'll be handling that herself. So going ahead, I decided to use as my manual the abstract concept from the Speaking to Inform, the advanced manual, and I called it, what else? Leadership. I thought that was a good title for today, Leadership. And I think I have a very dear friend, Julie Prowski, who many years ago wanted to get her DTM, and she was one speech shy. And she said, I just can't do it. It's the abstract concept. I can't figure it out. And I said, Julie, do you love Victor? I knew Julie when she was 4 years old. Her mother brought her to a dinner I ran, and I fell in love with her. She's like my second daughter. I said, do you love Victor? She said, of course I do. I said, well, can you hold that in your hand, love? I said, think of any word. We all know these different words, but you can't hold it in your hand. That's an abstract concept. So leadership is an abstract concept. And I know you all know leadership, or you wouldn't be here, especially the people that are on the district team. So my role today is, as usual, on TV. This is our 14th year doing the show. Joan and I were sitting up here with Tony Figueroa sitting between us 14 years ago, and they had a platform up front here. And Tony was so nervous that his leg was banging on my knee through they gave us a half an hour to see whether they want to give us a show or not. And I told Tony what was wrong. He said, I don't know, but he was shaking like a leaf. And I asked him if he'd come on for our anniversary, our 20th year next month, and he said he was in the Philippines, but I think he said he'd be back in time to come up, and we'll redo that for a while. But anyway, so my leadership role, I will start with the lowest officer on the list, and that is our Staten Island Division F director. I'm still in the old thing. We're all governors, remember? And now we have people with the pathways. Bear with me. I have not gotten into pathways yet, so I wrote down exactly what was given to me. Aida Murphy, who was on the show about a year ago, she's doing Visionary Communications Path, Level 1, Project, Researching and Presenting. Her home club, my home club is this, No Limits Toastmasters. Her home club is AT&T Middletown. And if these are not your home clubs, blame it on the boss, because I asked him what all your home clubs were, and these are what he gave me. In fact, I thought you were in Brunswick with Paul, and when you told me Impact 21...
We just move around.
You move around, okay. And you have 5 minutes on the clock. Linda Isaacs is your evaluator, and the topic is really very, very unusual. My role as the Division F director. Let's all welcome Aida Murphy.
Thank you, Fran. Fellow Toastmasters, and especially our television audience. I'm delighted to be here today as the Division F Director at the Toastmasters in the Community and the No Limits Toastmasters Club in Staten Island. I'm your Division F Director. As a Division F Director, I support 19 clubs in Monmouth County, Middlesex County, and Staten Island. My primary responsibility is to support 4 area directors. This is a leadership opportunity for them, and I take it as my objective to make sure that they are successful. We have 1 area director in Staten Island. We have 1 area director serving Monmouth County, the southern region of Monmouth County. We have another area director in the northern region of Monmouth County, and an area director serving part of Middlesex County. My 3 goals are: number 1, to support the area directors; number 2, to strengthen the existing clubs that we have; and number 3 is to start new clubs. And in District 83, where we are, we have 2 challenges that I turn into opportunities. One challenge is that we have the sunset of the traditional educational program, which means we have many members who want to complete their Distinguished Toastmaster within the next 2 years. Another challenge and opportunity is that we have a rollout of a new program called Pathways, which is challenging people to learn something new. Both of these challenges are opportunities for us to grow and strengthen as Toastmasters. To support the area directors, they have goals to make sure that their clubs are distinguished. Each area director supports 4 or 5 clubs. They want to ensure that at least half of their clubs are distinguished. They also will be making club visits. And as Fran mentioned, the area director serving this club will be visiting in October. We also have contests to organize, and we have district officer or club officer training sessions. We'll be holding 2 of those this coming week for the club officer training, and we'll be having area and division contests in October and November. As far as strengthening our existing clubs, I interviewed Fran Okeson, who has been area director in the past, and in fact, we are here today partly to recognize her many years of service. The balloons are here to recognize Fran for her accomplishments over the years. She was the area director serving Staten Island last year. To strengthen existing clubs, we want to look at the club culture, and we all learn from each other. This was a quote that Fran imparted on me. We all learn from each other. With the Pathways program, we can have people that are more experienced with the computer aspects of it, helping out those members who struggle in that area. This way, everybody is successful. As far as starting new clubs, we can take new concepts. This club has a fantastic idea of being a television show. What if we extend that idea and bring it into a video club, a YouTube channel, for instance? We can take advantage of younger members at colleges to make this happen. To close, we can be successful when we all learn from each other. I'm happy to serve Division F, and thank you for welcoming me here today.
Thank you very, very much, Rita. Now, the next level up the chain is Margarita Estrada. Margarita, you're a member of the Impact 21 Club, and you're doing, again, the Icebreaker and Pathways. Your path is effective coaching. And you gave me another line here, social media impact on public relations. And since I'm the public relations officer of all the 3 clubs that are part of Staten Island, I'm interested in hearing what you have to say. And again, your evaluator, Sue Brooks, and it's your role as the public relations director. Let's all welcome Margarita Estrada.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. I'd like to first thank No Limits Toastmaster for allowing me to be here. And thank you, our television audience, for welcoming us. So what is my role as a public relations manager? Well, my job consists of 3 steps. First, to ensure that our members are happy with the district leadership. Second, to combine the district leadership together with the members. And third, and most importantly, to make you, our public, aware of Toastmasters. How do we do this? Well, the first thing that we do is that we make the public aware of Toastmasters through our social media channels. By the way, we are on Facebook, District 83 Toastmasters, LinkedIn, District 83 Toastmasters, Instagram, Toastmasters D83, and Twitter at D83 Toastmasters. Remember that. And our website is tm83.org. It's important that you look at these so that you're aware of Toastmasters and our platform. One of the ways that I have grown in this role is because I covered this role in 2012 under the leadership of then District Governor Ann Gilson. During that time, we came up with the tagline, "Every member matters." This year is proactive empowerment. So, what does that mean? And how does it add value to you, the public? In order to have empowerment in your life, you need to be proactive in your role as a person, as a leader in your community, as a leader in your home, and yes, even at your job. By proactive empowerment, we mean that you take that first step. 12 years ago, I was a panic attack sufferer, and I decided to take that first step as being part of Toastmasters en Espanol, and decided that I was going to take the monkey off my back and learned how to speak and how to be a leader. And it was not easy, but I managed it. And now, this year, I've created what I call the District Public Relations Manager team, composed of the webmaster, the newsletter editors, social media strategists, which are 3 of them, and 2 District 83 photographers. Together, we want to take District 83 Toastmasters and the Toastmasters platform to a wider audience. And this is where you come in. Try to go to our platforms. If you're afraid of public speaking, if you feel that you cannot reach that level, go to Toastmasters.org. Go to District83.org. Go to District 83 Toastmasters on Facebook, on LinkedIn, at the 83 Toastmasters on Instagram, and at District 83 on Twitter. And when you do this, you will find out tips on how to conquer your public speaking skills, or rather, how to become better at public speaking. You'll be able to just understand that everyone that stands in this platform began with that first step as a speaker. I have gone to clubs all over the district during the past years, and I can tell you, this program works. It is the most value-added step that you can take to become a Toastmaster, and this way add value to your family, to your community, to your life. Toastmaster.
Thank you very, very much, Margarita. Very, very nice. I don't know anything about any of that social media.
You don't use it.
I just, as long as I have friends who can get me where I need to go, it'll, and I have my son who is very literate on the computer. I just have to yell to his part of the house and he helps me out. Hello, Willie.
Good morning, Fran.
How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
It's good to see you again. I don't get to Jersey. I don't drive that much anymore. So it's nice to see you again. Okay, Willie Market. I've known Willie for a long, long, long time. Okay, Willie, you're from the Open Door Toastmasters Club. Manny said, he's from Open Doors. And I said, no, Open Door. He said, no, I think it's Doors. I said, I remember when that club charted. It's Open Door.
Door, yeah.
Let me look, he said. He said, oh, you're right. It is Open Door.
It is.
You know,
yeah.
Body's bad. Mind, it's still, thank goodness. I may stumble over something else, but okay. You're doing one of my favorite manuals. You're doing speech number 1, communicating on video. I still use the communication on television, so you're doing the editorial. And that'll be very interesting. You have the 5 minutes. Cindy Wilson is your evaluator. And let's see, and your role is the club growth director. So let's all welcome Willie Market.
Good morning, Madam Moderator, fellow Toastmasters, and TV viewing audience. Have you ever been asked, what do you do? When I assumed the role of Club Growth Director in District 83, my friends and colleagues started asking me, what do you do? The answer is embodied in the district's mission. We build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. We do that by developing and overseeing an overall marketing plan for the district. There are two areas that I want to focus on this morning. Two important aspects of the job: building new clubs and also growing membership within the district. I have a team of people who help me get this job done. They include a club extension chair, a club retention chair, a club quality chair, as well as a club new source research chair. Each of these individuals contributes to membership growth in a unique way. Every year, we need to focus on building new clubs. Clubs come and go for a variety of reasons. Membership declines and businesses move. It would not be uncommon during a typical year for our district to lose 6 clubs. We must replace those clubs. To meet our growth goal of 3%, we would need to add another 5 clubs, bringing the yearly total to about 11 new clubs. So far this year, we've added 2 new clubs thanks to the efforts of my predecessor, Linda Starr. But I know of at least 1 club which will fold this fall. You may be wondering, how do you know where the opportunities are to start new clubs? Traditionally, we get most of our leads from Toastmasters International, but every once in a while we get a lead from one of our members. We also look at underserved areas within our geographic area of responsibility, which includes metropolitan New Jersey, Rockland County, New York, and Staten Island, New York. Starting a club is a relatively easy job, but it takes a lot of time and effort. We contact a prospective group and we help them promote club formation. When there are 20 members or 20 people who are ready to become members of the club, we assign a club sponsor who helps the club get organized, complete the charter application, and plan for successful club meetings. We also assign a club mentor who will help the club for 6 or more months after charter to get off to a good start. Membership retention and growth is also a very important part of the job. My club retention chair makes sure that all our clubs know about the membership drives and also about the district incentives which are designed to promote club growth. Every once in a while, clubs struggle due to membership or program issues. When that happens, a club coach may be assigned to help rebuild the club. In addition to the traditional methods used for growing clubs and gaining methods, I believe we also need to exploit technology to grow our district. We will start an internet marketing campaign this year. Many marketing professionals will tell you that you can reach a larger audience at a lower cost with internet marketing versus traditional advertising. Another area that merits attention is looking at our website. It's designed for our members, but if we want visitors to view the website, we need to make a page just for them, one which explains the Toastmasters program and outlines the features and benefits. I also believe that we need to expand our footprint on social media to increase public awareness about Toastmasters International educational program. And the district is also encouraging clubs to implement Meetup as a way of gaining new members. Meetup is an online platform which allows people with common interests to be able to meet and share ideas. This is a great way to attract new members to your club. Our club retention chair, Bill Atkins, has used Meetup with great success and is willing to help other clubs replicate this experience. I believe that we can grow the number of clubs and membership within District 83. And I am blessed with the opportunity to be able to lead the district in this initiative and look forward to a productive year. Madam Moderator.
Thank you very much, Willie. Thank you. Sounds like he's got a full plate there.
He does.
I'm telling you. Yeah. Okay, and now we're almost getting up to our district director. Hello, Linda. Linda, you were here last year in your role at that time, and you weren't kicked out, so that's why you're here this year. You must have done your good job last year. Linda, you're a member of Dining to Speak Toastmasters. Now, do you have food at all your meetings?
We do. We meet at an Italian restaurant.
Oh, really?
We have a private room, and we have dinner, and we do our meeting, and it's really is good practice for the speaker, because it's like being, many times you're asked to speak at a dinner event and you have the waiters going in and out and people clanging dishes and things like that.
You have to just speak and forget about all the noise.
Exactly.
Well, 2 of my clubs meet in hospitals, and they provide some refreshments there, and we appreciate it. It's very nice to go in. This way, if we get sick on anything, we're in the hospital already. So it sort of works out. All right, let me see what you're doing. Oh, you're doing a regular speech. Thank you, Linda, thank you. You're doing speaking. I will get used to pathways. When I call Colorado to find some help, I say, I'll get there, but I have to finish this year's stuff first. All right. I know I did I saw a base camp one day. John Weibel went a little bit further, and he got into it, and he did the assessment, and it told him he would make a good coach, and he said, why'd they pick that? I said, well, just don't pick managerial or whatever. Those things are nothing to do with a manager. So I don't know how I'm going to work out. I don't know what they'll give me, but I've heard that you can reject what they offer you as your
you
path.
can change within 60 days.
Well, I may have to if they play games with me. All right, you're doing speech number 1 in the Speaking to Inform Advanced Manual. The speech to inform, and your evaluator is Rachel Weiss. And again, your role is the Program Quality Director. And I think it was Paula that thought up the PQD or something.
PQD, yes.
PQD, yeah, we didn't know, what is this Program Quality Director? And she said, it's just PQD. So anyway, I'm getting used to these terms. Linda, welcome back, and I hope we'll see you again between now and next year, and I guess you're going to move up and sit with me next August. Okay?
We'll see what happens.
Well, first Saturday in August, I try to introduce the new top team. So also welcome Linda Starr.
Thank you, Fran. It is a pleasure to be back here at No Limits. So, as Fran said, whether you call it the PQD, the PQD, those of you who have been in Toastmasters a while may have called Lieutenant Governor of Education and Training, but this year I am the Program Quality Director, and my job is to promote education and training in the district. So it is a big job. I also work closely with Manny Reyes, the district director, and with William Markert, the Club Growth Director. So the job of the Program Quality Director, as I said, is to focus on education and training. So I do a lot with the Distinguished Club Plan, promoting that with the clubs. And because we're moving to Pathways this year, the new program that Fran and Aida have mentioned, we have new things on our DCP. So there's a traditional path, and there's the Pathways program. So people are getting used to that and how that works. I also work with the division area directors on the training. So I'm happy to say that we have 100% of our district officers trained this summer, and we're still working on our club officer training, which goes through the end of August. And if you are a club officer or you're thinking about being a club officer, it's a great thing to come to the training. You learn about your role, you learn about other aspects of Toastmasters, you get to mingle with, network with other people who have the same role in other clubs, your counterparts. I'm also in charge of working with the division and area directors on contests, and our district really loves the contest. So this fall we're doing the humorous and the table topics contests. And in the spring, we'll do international and evaluation. Now, this year, Toastmasters International has changed the contests. So previously, we had club, area, division, and then the district contest finals at the fall conference. Well, Toastmasters has said we're not having fall conferences anymore. So we used to have fall and spring. So now the spring conference will be known as the district annual conference. And at that event, we're going to do the finals for all 4 contests. So the humorous, the table topics, the evaluation, and the international. So in order to fit that all in, we're going to have changes to our conference structure. So keep in touch. Margarita mentioned tm83.org. It's a great place to get a lot of good information. Also working a lot on club quality. And what does that mean? That means helping our Toastmaster members to get the most out of their Toastmaster experience. Whether you join Toastmasters because they told you to join it at work, or you have you want to improve yourself for something you're doing, maybe speaking at a wedding or whatever, we all have our goals. So we want to make sure that people get the most benefit from the program. And as you know, we've heard this many times already, we're working toward the transition towards pathways. That's going to fully happen in June of 2020. So between now, we still have a little less than 2 years. If you're working on the traditional program, you can certainly continue to do that, and we encourage people to do that to get to their Distinguished Toastmaster Distinguished Toastmaster designation, which is the highest level. And in order to help people on that path, we have a new program called Destination DTM. And Ann Gilson, our past district director, is going to help us with that and help people to achieve success on the road to DTM. One of the other things I'm trying to do this year is to encourage people that proactive empowerment, but also to try something new, whether it's to take on a new role or try something different when you're making your speeches, do something inside your club, outside your club. So for me, being program quality director is definitely trying something new, and I think that it's going to be a great experience. I'm looking forward to working very closely with the members and the officers through the coming year. Thank you, Fran.
Thank you very much. Very nice. Got an awful lot of good information in that little bit of time, didn't you? Thank you, Linda. Appreciate it. Now we're moving on to the boss. The boss. I don't know. I'll have to ask Begonia if you're the boss at home. Sometimes the guy who's the boss in public isn't the boss at home. So I'll have to ask him between shows. Okay, Manny Reyes, you're a DTM. You weren't a DTM when I met you earlier this year, and then all of a sudden, one day you said, I filed my DTM, and I thought, wow, now you got the right thing. And you're a member of the Impact 21 Club. Very good. All right, so you're doing a Pathways program. I'm going to find out how to do this through having people on the show who are into it already. Pathways 1, Level 1 Dynamic Leadership, and Kevin Thompson is your evaluator, and we're very interested in your role as the District 83 Director, the big honcho of District 83. Manny Reyes.
First of all, thank you very much to No Limits for having us here today. I am very humble and pleased to be here representing District 83. As you know, there are about 108 districts in Toastmasters International, and we have approximately 15,000 clubs worldwide. We are a small part of Toastmasters International. We currently have 156 clubs and close to 3,400 members here in the state of New Jersey, going from Staten Island to Rockland County. And we have 9 divisions. These 9 divisions has 37 area directors, which, as Linda just mentioned, has been trained. Now, what I'm doing here today is I'm starting with my icebreaker in the dynamic leadership, which is not the first time that I speak to an audience as to speak as a Toastmaster, but it's the first time that I do it in television as District 83 Director. I have been a Toastmaster for the past 5 years, and as many of us, I joined Toastmasters in the pursuit of advancing in my career. I wanted to be a better communicator. Later on, I discovered that Toastmaster is more than communication. Toastmaster is about leadership. And leadership is what we do every day in our home, with our families, with our children, becoming the role model that our children look after every single day. You become that person in the office that is always doing what is necessary to reach the goals. And now here in Toastmasters, what is our role? Well, I want to tell you that you are a member of a very large family. And as a member of our family, your first responsibility is with yourself. When we say proactive, we are saying you have to show up. If you don't show up to your meeting, if you are not taking the responsibility to help other members reach their goals, you are not helping yourself. You have to show up, take the roles. If you don't have a prepared speech, become the general evaluator, an evaluator, the timer, the ad counter. There are so many opportunities, but what you have to do, and that is what proactive means, you have to constantly be practicing. If you start skipping your meetings, you are not going to be fulfilling whatever brought you to Toastmasters. And I'm sure you didn't came to Toastmasters one day just because you didn't have anything better to do. You knew there is something that you can do to advance your career, to become more. And that's what we help you find in here. Our mission starts in the club. Our mission is to empower you to find these values, these things that you know you possess, and when you start helping others, indirectly, you are helping yourself. We are here to create leaders. And as you lift your members up, you lift yourself. There is so much that we learn from the experience of being a Toastmasters that I'm in 4 clubs. And I don't have enough of Toastmasters because every day I challenge myself to do a little bit more. If you really want to make 2018 the year of your transformation, come to a Toastmaster club. I guarantee you, you will find something in one of these clubs to become the best possible version of yourself. And we are welcoming, looking forward for you. And before we go, I just wanted to say, thank you, Fran. We wanted to present you with this certificate because Fran has been a member for almost 30 years, and she has been such a tremendous contributor for us that I wanted to present with our District 83 certificate for being such a passionate and helpers to us.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Very much.
Oh, thank you. This is funny because you walked right into the thing I was going to tell you, that I always carry new member applications with me wherever I go. And I brought 2 today because I wanted to ask you if you'd like to join No Limits so you could come back periodically and enhance your skills. Would you and Begonia like to join our club?
Well, we'll talk about it.
That sounds like a no to me. That's all right. We'll still invite you back.
Thank you so much.
Yes, because you get a beautiful presentation there. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. We're going on to the evaluations, and then we'll do table topics. Okay. Jane, thank you for coming today. I know you enjoyed being here the last time, and you're a valued member of our Richmond County Club. And you are evaluating, unfortunately, you're substituting for Fern, who couldn't make it with this terrible weather. So you got the privilege or whatever of evaluating both of my speeches today. So this one on leadership, would you tell the folks what you thought in 1 minute, okay? Thank you. Jane Castagliola. See, I can spell these names, I just can't say them too well.
Castagliola.
Castagliola.
You said it perfectly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Fran. And it's always an honor to have to evaluate a speech, but especially this speech. Being relatively new to the organization, I actually enjoyed listening to the topic of leadership, but also the explanation of the abstract concept that Fran so eloquently explained. I felt that she defined that scope so very well that I wanted to hear more, and I was almost ready to start reading about it at that moment. Yes, the topic was sufficiently explained in the time allotted, though I wish we had more time for her to explain it even further. The speech explained the leadership of Toastmasters, which I was absorbing and taking in. So I felt that she used the Toastmaster experts very well. And how did the speaker make the talk interesting? The whole topic was interesting. So I had taken that abstract concept and the leadership concept, and I was taking it into my brain, and I felt the speech was very interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. And Joan, if you'll initial my speeches Wednesday at the meeting, I'd appreciate it. And now Linda Isaacs is evaluating our Division F Director, Aida Murphy. Hello.
Hello. So today I'm here to give my impressions of Aida's speech about her responsibilities as the Division F Director. And she certainly covered everything that's involved with that very thoroughly, with clearly delineated points about supporting the area governors, strengthening existing clubs, and starting new clubs. So all of that was very clear, and she had a very structured speech in that way. What I was thinking, though, as I was listening to this speech was, who is the audience? And I know that in this room we have a number of very experienced Toastmasters, but there's also the audience at home. I was actually thinking about that through all these speeches this morning, and I wondered how clear it would have been for them. I thought perhaps the speech could have been a little simpler, and that, for instance, the concept of strengthening clubs was mentioned several times, but if it had all been in one place, it might have made the speech cleaner, so to speak, for those listening at home that have no idea of the structure of Toastmasters. But having said that, I really like the closing concept of using the strengths of one club to help another club, and I think that there is a lot we can learn from each other. I know as an area director, that's what I tried to emphasize, and I found it extremely helpful. So thank you for an excellent speech.
Thank you very much, Linda. Very astute. And now we do let our control room crew come out occasionally. So Sue runs out, and then she runs back in again to do her job in the control room. Sue, you're evaluating, let's see, Margarita's speech, and let's hear what you thought about her Pathways, because you're in Pathways now, which I'm very proud that you're there, and I will be interested in your speech later on.
Thank you. Margarita, thank you so much for presenting the information about your role as the Public Relations Manager. I think you did a very good job presenting your icebreaker here on TV. I really liked how you were warm with the audience. You acknowledged everybody here in the studio as well as at home. I thought it was great that you started out mentioning 3 specific things. It's always great to have a triad. You mentioned how it was important that everybody was happy. It was important that you reached the members of our district who are existing Toastmasters. And third, that you mentioned how it's important to have an outreach into the community. How do we do it? Your strengths included mentioning that we have not only our website, our Facebook, our Twitter, our LinkedIn, our Instagram, but we also, under your direct leadership with proactive empowerment, have developed a team that we don't always often have the case of. I think you did that extremely well, acknowledging your team and the depth and breadth of scope. One of the things I think I wished I would have liked to see is minimal gestures. You looked a little stiff in the box, but overall you were warm, friendly, your voice was well-paced, and I kind of was hoping maybe there would be a few more expressive gestures. But should you come back to the TV show and work on TV or video, I think that will be a natural and you will be wonderful. I wish you a great amount of success in your role as the Public Relations Manager this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you've opened the door because we're always looking for crew members to come and take training. If you're interested in learning how to play in the control room or out here, let me know. They do have training here periodically. All right, now Cindy, oh, you always come dressed so beautifully. I love your outfits. You must have a closet just for your Nigerian outfits. She comes dressed like a model.
I have a lot of international outfits, not just the ones from Nigeria and the African subcontinent.
With the series of stories.
I'm going to surprise you one day with something very, very different.
Is it proper on the air?
Oh, yes.
Oh, all right,
yes.
then that's right. Past District Governor Cindy Wilson will now evaluate Willie Market's speech. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Moderator. Before I start talking about Willie, I'd like to say congratulations to Margarita Estrada, who became a DTM last week. And now for Willie. I will say one thing about Willie's presentation up here. You could see that he is a professional and he does understand what's going on. As he stood here and gave his report about his vision and what his team was going to do, I saw that he was really down to earth about it. You could understand the words that he was saying. He wanted to ensure that you knew every fact and figure as he was being involved with his team. I think he did an excellent job of presenting what's coming forth. From what I understand, this is Willie's first visit here. And for a person who has not done this before, I felt that he did an excellent job. A little nervous here and there, but this takes practice. Yes, Willie, come back. You must come back and work on Fan Show throughout the year to give presentations. It will help you with your presence to your audience. I also suggest, if you have the time, have one of your other club members at Open Door work with you when you see the video of this and do their own review. That'll give you a two-sided response to how we saw you, how I saw you here, and how they see you on video. Other than that, Willie, I want to congratulate you on your first visit to France, and I hope that you do an excellent job throughout the year. Madam Moderator.
Thank you very, very much. Very much. And now we'll have Rachel Weiss come up and evaluate Linda Starr's presentation. Hello, Rachel.
Hi, Fran.
Who's doing floor managing?
I got my able-bodied helpers
found somebody back
out
there.
there. Yes.
Okay.
Kevin Thompson.
Okay.
I want to thank you for coming up and sharing with us, Linda, what's going on. What Linda did very well was be able to tie all the previous speakers together into her speech. And she acknowledged them, and she was able to then build and grow on what they had to say. One of the things that I would have liked to have seen is in her opening of her speech to talk more in a way that would make us as an audience ponder and think about what they've heard, to be able to then think about what she was going to present. What she gave was a very good, straightforward overview as to what's going on. I think if she was able to get us to ponder a little bit, it would have been more impactful. I thought she was very comfortable here in front of the camera and that she was in control. What I would have liked to have seen is a little bit more smiling. I think that's something I could say about all the speakers today. And when you're first up in front of the camera, that's hard because there's so much that's going on, so many things that you have to think about. So again, as was said before, come back, get on camera again. The proactive empowerment was a great concept, something that you presented, and I'd like to hear more about that. So maybe come back and give another speech and give us a more detail on that. Overall, I think this was a great experience. You did a great job of presenting from your heart, and I look forward to hearing from you again.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Thank you. And here comes the good humor man to evaluate you, Manny. All right, Kevin.
Here we go.
I saw you buttoning your jacket, so you look really presentable up there. Tell us what you think of the boss man. He'll talk when he gets the image. He has to think.
I'm not only good in humor, but I'm good in reality, too. Fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, and of course our TV audience. But let's not forget the #1 of our top 3. You know, in Toastmasters, we always talked about top 3, but now that we're going on this Pathways journey, they don't talk about top 3 anymore. Now they talk about size, because size matter. And what we're going to talk about is Double D. That's who Manny is. He is Double D. Toastmasters is known for its acronyms. CTM, DTM, you have the Quality Program Director. What's that? QPD? But the most important thing that I wanted to tell you about Manny's speech is that he, throughout his speech, talked about the most important person in the room, and that's you. And he inspired you to go and take the steps to, and I'll talk about another D, become dedicated, become driven, and to be empowered to be your best self. The best place to do that for the least amount of money is Toastmasters. Not only will you learn to develop yourself, but you'll develop a friendship and be able to develop a collaborative team within that group. Thank you so much, and thank you, Manny, for your speech.
Thank you for bringing up the dues. Kevin? Kevin, thank you for bringing up the dues. I am collecting dues today. Thank you very much. All right. And now we're going into table topics. Sometimes people have heart attacks before, during, and after this portion, but I picked out certain people, and I want to ask you, Rachel, you are filling in for Paul Schaff. Unfortunately, he couldn't come today, but this question, it can be answered by anyone. Since you were a past area and all these other official letters during your course of Toastmasters, what's the highlight of did you ever go to division? I didn't know you in the early years, but you've been with my team now for a long time. But I know you had to be an area governor, probably a division governor.
I've been an area director, area governor, division governor, division director, and then club quality growth director.
Okay.
So I've served in many roles many times.
Okay. Then tell us about the one that you'd like to highlight as something that you really felt you got your teeth into that job and you succeeded. Rachel Weiss.
Well, Fran, I think the theme that you've been hearing this morning is the fact that we don't stand alone. We don't work alone. It's a group of three that are working together, and we're on each other's back, facing outward. We can't be looking inward. We can't be looking at ourselves. We need to be looking out and looking out for our members, looking out for our clubs, looking out for this district. That is the theme that has been the thread through all of the different positions I've held. I've held all of the different office or positions in the club, which made me able to understand all of the needs of the members. And I've taken that in each level that I've gone through in Toastmasters. The key is not to be alone, and it is lonely at the top. But you need to have that triune presentation. The club growth director, program quality director, district director have to work together and have each other's back. And then in each of those roles, as Willie presented, as Linda presented, you have another thread of three. A thread of three is hard to be broken. And when times get tough, they're there to lift you up and keep you on track.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Thank you. Now, the better half, shall I say, Begonia Reyes.
The real boss.
The what?
The real boss.
Well, that's all right. Begonia, I'm so happy you came back. I understand that whether he goes, you go, just like when Paul and Sandy were coming and never saw one without the other. Sometimes a couple of feet behind the other, but it still worked out. Begonia, why don't you tell us, I understand from Manny that you're this year's Division I director?
Yes.
All right.
I am Division I director.
Okay. Tell us about, well, you had to be an area director first, so tell us the highlight of your year as an area director.
Okay.
Begonia Reyes.
Last year, I was an area director, Area 21 director in Division B. I was with Ida Murphy. I was honored to be on her team. As an area director, my success plan was to communicate with my clubs as soon as possible and let them know what was the different activities that was going on in the district. In addition to that, I remind them how important was to participate in the club officer training for the success of the club. I check my calendar, and I schedule my area visits early. So I supposed to visit all my clubs twice a year. During my area visits, I encourage members to work on their path and to participate in club, area, and division contests. As an area director, I was responsible for organize the club, the area contest. And for that, in Division B, we work with another co-leader, with Area 21 and Area 22 together. And we work as a team. That's what we did in Division B. I was fortunate to be part of Division B, a group of wonderful leaders, starting for our division director, Ada Murphy, and follow for the others.
Okay, thank you very, very much. Do you two speak Spanish at home?
Yes.
Oh, you ought to borrow some people and let them learn from you. Mr. Director, you had to have been an area governor over in Brooklyn at the club that we worked on together. And so I'd like to know your highlight of your year as an area director. Please mind the time. The director doesn't like anyone to go overtime. Isaac Govinovich.
Madam Producer, my fellow studio audience, and of course, audience at home. Being a area governor at the time, that was the title, actually was very interesting because I was in charge of 5 clubs in Brooklyn. I never been at these clubs before my time as area governor, and when I started visiting them, I discovered that although we all follow the same educational curriculum, every club is different. Every club has personality. And that's the beauty of Toastmasters. Because it's people, not the books, that make the Toastmaster great. And visiting those clubs, I found out that I got more educated, more enriched by communicating with all these different people than I actually gave them. And my goal was to have a distinctive area, and I had select distinctive area. And that was not only tribute to me, but tribute to my clubs, because they did a phenomenal job. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Isaac. Now, Paul Paradise, you have not had a district office, but I understand that you're the new president this year of Miles Square Toastmasters in Hoboken.
That's correct.
What do you plan on being your successful nugget with this year that you could tell us about next year? Paul Paradise.
Thank you very much, Fran. Well, first of all, there's quite a bit to be said about continuity and keeping the club going. Originally, and I'll be frank about it, I didn't want to be president. And then I realized, working with the previous president, that no one really wanted to take on the role of president. And so I had to make a choice, and I don't want to use the word reluctantly, but I had to talk myself into being the current president. And then I realized I probably am the best person for the job of being president, in part because I knew everyone in the club. I was previously the vice president of education. I was previously the sergeant of arms, and I knew everyone. Plus, I was blessed with a lot of very good people in the club. Everyone was a veteran, like Linda Isaacs, who was here today, was a DTM, Casey, who was the previous president. And so I felt very, very blessed, and I said, you know what, you're going to be a very great president, and I think so far I'm doing a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul. All right. Now, I do have a little announcement here because I've decided to do a public relations campaign to complete another competent leadership manual. And last year was the 3rd year I submitted a poem to the Community Agency for Senior Citizens. And they had many categories because seniors like to be honored, from what I understand. So they had all these categories First two poems I put in, they were put in the book, but my name wasn't called. But last year, the day before our December show, I received the second place in the Reflections category, and I did make a printout on that for everybody to see the poem that got me an award last year. And this is the book that you get every year when you put a poem in, you get into this beautiful book, and I have 3 of these, and I'm working on one. The deadline for the audience at home, Community Agency of Senior Citizens, is looking for anyone who has any kind of poetic interest. The deadline for your submission is August 15th, and they'll let you know where the event will be. All right? So you can take this down, or you can get back to me. My information is at the end of the tape, but you can call Valerie Volpe at 718-981-6226, extension 112, or email valerie.volpe@cascsiny.org. This is now on the tape, so this will be playing the next 2 Saturdays, and my information is at the end. So I just wanted to get that blurb out, and I'm very interested, Manny. We only have about a minute.
30 minutes.
Well, I wanted to ask you, I did have down here, I wanted to ask you, how did you come up with your theme this year? My theme in my year was Shed the Light, and that's why I did a public speaking course for the American Sign Language, and at the end of the second training, they presented me with that lighthouse. So,
Mine wasn't that original, because the club mission is to empower our members. And being proactive, for me, I like to be at the club. If you show up every day, there is no way that you are not going to improve. Coming every single day is through these tiny, tiny improvements that you become more acquainted with what being Toastmaster is. And for me, empowerment is what we do, which is we take the responsibility to be the best person we can be. And with that, I decided to run, because I understand everybody in our district can do it. So that's why I come with proactive, which means show up, and empowerment, which means you make one decision, now you have to follow suit on what you decided to do.
That's a good motto for life. It is very much so. All right, we're just about finished. I want to thank you all. See you next time on Toastmasters in the Community. Just everybody. No, not please, just the people I told, the people who